That's a great story. So how do new people get in the game now? How has it changed over the years?
So it's changed as far as, you mean, as far as new planners or new um, business?
Like when you see the formation of an industry, you're going from zero. It seems like you're going from like, because I know what you mean. When I was a kid, these Indian weddings weren't like, they were starting out, but they've gotten more and more lavish. Like you have to outcompete people a little bit. Now they're doing the wedding trailer. I don't know if you're into these wedding trailers, but that's 20,000, man. That's huge, right? So the weddings get bigger. There's more events. It seems like it's become this industry. It seems like Bollywood's kind of fueling it. When you started, it's like it sounds like you almost invented it. Now, can someone just contact you and get in the game, or like do other competitors come up? Are there competitors even, or is it like?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's competitors like any industry that everybody wants a piece of. You know, at the end of the day, there's a lot more competitors, a lot more vendors. As I said in my earlier spiel, that there's a lot of non-Indians that have entered the market as well because they all want a piece of the pie. Having been featured on syndicated television certainly has given us that exposure, and so a lot of people want to get in and find out what it's all about, and they love the hype, they love the dollars that are spent. So yeah, I mean, everybody wants a piece of the pie and try to sell their wares, if you will, whether they're planning, whether they're photography, whether, you know, it's not even videography anymore, right? Back then, you probably remember when you were growing up, it was, oh, let me get a videographer for the wedding. It's not even videography yet. It's now cinematography, because everybody wants a movie. Everybody wants a production. They all want that 5-day event.
Yeah. You got to do a love movie around them too. That's another one I've seen now. These new innovations are coming up. You make a little love story movie between the husband and wife. You've seen that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's standard. And then the trailer.
Yeah, that's standard.
Yeah, but when I was a kid,
and all that.
Yeah. Like these are new innovations. I mean, the business is making so much money. You've risen to platinum level. Like you're saying you're taking these 350 plus events. Like you're taking bigger and bigger events. How, like, is it the same team that's grown all the way? Like you guys have all grown all the way, and you do the sales?
Yeah, we actually ended up. It's the same team on the sales side, absolutely. But as far as execution side, we're lucky enough to find a lot of folks within the same family, if you will. So a lot of their cousins and family members got involved and started helping us out, and it just grew from there. So we have like this one batch of, you know, Patel gum that we got like 15 people that work for us.
You let one Patel in, and then they just said, tala. Like,
yeah, they're like, come on, everybody, let's go. You know,
let's go. Big money. Come on.
Yeah, money. Exactly. They're like, oh, green card, yeah. Nothing like that. No, they're all legitimately here. But yeah, anyway, we started training them as they were in college, and then eventually they got out of college, started having jobs as well. And on the weekends, they wouldn't necessarily work for us. But,
born here, born India?
No, born here, absolutely. English speaking, but knows the South Asian language, whether it be Hindi or Gujarati or what have you.
You're a community leader. So,
a little bit of that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, it's a teamwork, and it's a dream come true.
And the reality TV show, Team Effort, you guys all worked on that, or is that like another thing you did on your own?
Yeah, no, that was definitely on my own. That was pitched to me conceptually from an outside non-Indian provider, and that had nothing to do with the rest of the team. That was something that was like my vision.
That's sick, dude.
Now, I was going to ask, like, you got it started before social media, right? I think, you know, Facebook, YouTube, all these platforms are like maybe over 10 years old, like less than 15 years old. So you got started pre-social media. What was it like back then, like in terms of organizing events, promoting events? Even if it's like a non-wedding event, you can't just put up a Facebook post back then. So what was that like for you, like the marketing side of things?
Yeah, and that's a really great question, you know. So we never had the opportunity to take a picture of this mandap that you see behind me, blast it on social media, and everybody's like, wow, look at that mandap. Let me call you, ding, 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 and find out if you can do this for me. You know, we never had that. We would say back in the day, we were only as good as our last event, right? So our marketing, our advertising, if you will, which we did zero advertising. To this day, we do, you know, zero advertising unless we invest it back into our event. And what I mean by that is we still feel that we're as good as our last event. So we let the people do the talking for us, right? Strictly word of mouth is what we relied upon in terms of references, in terms of getting business in the door, whether it be a warm lead or a hot lead, if you will. And that's the way business was for about 15, 18 years. It's only in the last 2, 3, 4 years that social media has taken a storm. And unfortunately, with social media nowadays, you see a picture like this, and anybody puts a picture like this up, you don't know if the company's good or bad. You don't know if they're going to be able to actually execute, or they're going to turn your wedding into a guinea pig wedding for their portfolio, right? So fortunately for us, we have 18, 20 years of a track record, and the word of mouth and the references of vendors and friends and family that allows us to now put a picture up, and everybody's like, let me call you right away instead of a week later. And so back then, to answer your question on it, it was strictly word of mouth. There was no social media. It was a friend telling a friend. We didn't even have a bridal party. Right now, at least people have bridal parties. So there's like 20 other girlfriends that you have in your bridal party that may see your work, and they want that kind of work, if not better. And Amish, to your point too, right now everybody wants to outdo each other. So I have had so many clients that have said, well, I'm doing a 9-day wedding. Or she did a 9-day wedding rather. When I get married, I want to do a 12-day wedding.
Wow. Yeah, you gotta beat
you know, or whatever the case may be, right? If my best girl, or my best man spent 300,000, I want to spend 650. Right?
Oh, come on.
It's called
Dekadeki. Dekadeki. Do you ever, as the guru, do you ever say, hey, what is this? Does it seem like a little bit too much, or like, no, you just take the money, you take your cut, you love it?
No, I mean, listen, we say no to nothing. We say no to business. It helps us because we start thinking outside the box. We're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You did it in New York and you had 9 days. Let's do it in Cancun, Mexico, and let's do it for 7 days.
God is
right?
great.
So it helps us really challenge ourselves and
Wow.
push us to the next level. So we don't, outside of the business, the monetary aspect of it, which is great, it's really about the challenge and putting another notch under the belt.
Yeah, my parents have a catering company too. Same thing. It's like there's 1,000 people there. That's your advertising. There's 1,000 people at these Indian weddings, right? Minimum. Or do you go higher?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I mean, not 1,000, but I mean, it could be 300 to like 900, let's say. The averages come down a little bit, but whatever the case is, it speaks for itself. If you do a great job, and that's why I said, on it, we invest back into our events, make sure the events are great, and let that speak for itself.